Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor, and we are here with the Everton Burnley pre-match live stream that we do occasionally. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to our viewers. I can see Semi Chard was in the chat about 6 minutes ago. Starting off, let us know your score predictions like we've asked for. Don't forget to let me know scores, who you think will score. All that's good fun as we're on the countdown to the lineup. I have heard rumours that both Dominic Calvert-Lewin and James Rodriguez could be missing. Rodriguez, I think that was sort of expected anyway. And he let out an Instagram before that didn't look like he was getting ready for the game, but like photos could have been taken any time. But apparently he's not there. This is just people guessing from the video of them entering Goodison. Dominic Calvert-Lewin also wasn't in the video, so yet to be seen if that's the case or not. Hopefully not, because we need him. If not, I imagine he's going to stick Richarlison up top or even Solomon Rondon. We might see the debut of Solomon Rondon today, which will be good. Good to see you, Semi, mate. I hope you're all right. Hope you're doing well. Mozza, nice to see you as well, mate. 2-1 from Semi Chard Life and 2-0 from Mozza. Decent predictions, lads. Hopefully it's true. It'd be a bit interesting. I'm quite excited to see this game. I think it's fair to say this is the first game we'll play this season where we've been allowed to have more possession and we'll be given more possession. I think us and Burnley are two of the lower teams for possession average this season. So I'm interested to see what the lads do when they've got more possession, how they'll cope with it. Fingers crossed they cope well enough, but you never know. You never know. But yeah, I mean, I've got a probable lineup here for you, but we are only 2 minutes away from the actual lineup. But the probable lineup I've got via FootMob is Jordan Pickford in goal, Seamus Coleman, who I have heard has travelled with the squad and could be fit, Yerry Mina, Michael Keane, Luca Digne, Alex Iwobi on the right, Allen and Decore in the middle with Damari Gray on the left, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison in a 4-4-2. For Burnley, in case you want to know, it looks like they reckon it might be Pope, Lowton, Tarkowski, Me, Taylor, Gudmundsson, Westwood, Brownhill, McNeil, Barnes, and Chris Wood. Obviously, the big talking point. Hi, Owen, mate. Nice to see you. 2-1 with Rondon scoring. That'd be very good. That'd be a great way to start his debut, won't it? Semi Charles put last season, the more possession we had, the more we struggled, but Rafa the gaffer is in charge now. Yeah, that's why I'm interested to see what we'll do, because I don't think Burnley will keep possession. So I think we will naturally have more possession. And when I say interesting, I mean slightly worried that, as we've proven this season, don't give the lads too much time to think on the ball is probably best for us. It means our centre-backs aren't, falling asleep. I'm not going to name names, but Michael Keane. But yeah, it'd be interesting. One of the things I'm quite excited to see is Dwight McNeil. Obviously, we've been linked with him throughout the summer. Rafa Benitez has been quite complimentary of him leading up to the game, which has led to speculation that the chase for McNeil isn't over yet. It just didn't happen in the summer. So I'll be keeping an extra eye out on him. Obviously, a few people were saying he's not fast enough. Well, maybe we'll see today just how good he is. Hopefully not too good. Otherwise, obviously, we hope he has a slightly quiet game, but it'll be interesting to see what Dwight McNeil can produce. But it is 7 o'clock, and I'm going to refresh the Everton Twitter because the lineup should be up. And it is Jordan Pickford in goal, Seamus Coleman at right back, Ben Godfrey at centre-back, with Keane, Amina and Digne. I think he's going 5 at the back. Alan Decore, then Townsend, Gray, Richarlison. So he's going Richarlison up front. Begovic, Kenny, Holgate, Iwobi, Gomez, Gordon, Jabamin, Davis, and Rondon all on the bench. Holding judgment, but I don't think we played very well at a 5-back. I'm a little bit disappointed to see 5 at the back. I don't think it's the best formation that, for us. I think we struggle in it, but I'm holding judgment till after the game. I don't want to be one of those guys who goes, I'll fight back, we're going to lose. And then, we end up winning because then I look very, very silly. I just know the last time he tried this 5 at the back formation was Huddersfield. And I think it's fair to say we got off quite lightly against Huddersfield. It was a bit too close to call, in my opinion, especially for the quality Huddersfield have. But we'll have to wait and see on that. It looks like he's going to play a 5-2-3. It's tough. Obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injury probably has caused this time. I think that, and also the lack of, Rondon's very new. He's not going to stick him straight in the squad. The lack of a backup striker that's been with the team long enough. I think that's sort of caused this change here. Hopefully we can get, the 5 back isn't going to damage us too much. I'm excited to see Ben Godfrey play. Personally, I hope he has a really good game, and then Rafa realises Mina and Godfrey are the best too. Semi-Chards put Mina should have Wood in his pocket. I hope so. I'm interested to see how that duel comes out, because 2 very imposing men, 2 physical players, very physical in their styles of play. Yerry Mina, though, the ultimate mind games master. Obviously, we saw it against Bamford at Leeds. But I don't know if any of you have seen, but Fabio Silva did an interview for 442 magazine and said Yerry Mina is one of the hardest he's come against because he's constantly playing mind games with you throughout the game. And obviously, Fabio Silva is quite a small lad, and Yerry Mina is an absolute tower compared to him. But he said the mind games were really, really tough from Yerry Mina. So that was quite interesting, but we obviously knew that anyway. Just ask Patrick Bamford what he thinks of Yerry Mina's mind games, because he had Bamford rattled in the Leeds game. So you'll have to wait and see on that one. Semi-Chards just put Mina gets after them, to be sure. Yeah, he's just, I really rate him. I think he's just a really good wind-up merchant. His dancing as well. He makes blood boil. I just really like him. Jamie Walters has put Godfrey no, it looks like a 5 back, mate. So 3 centre back formation. Be 3 at the back with Coleman right wing back. Yeah, that's from Andrew Bowen. And that's the age-old debate, though, isn't it? If they're wing backs, it's a 5 unless they're wingers or midfield, like wide midfielders. But they're exactly the same, mate. A 5 back is a 3 back. It's just when you fall flat, and then obviously when we go forward, we'll be a 3 back. I don't personally like it. I don't think it's very well suited to us. We played it a lot under Ancelotti, so the players should be a little bit better used to it. But I just don't like it. I don't think a 5 back is the best formation for us. The last time he did this was Huddersfield. I think we got off a little bit lucky. It could have been a lot worse, especially with Moise Keane getting himself sent off. But I'm holding judgment. I'm not going to say that, that's it, we're done for, because like I said, we'll end up winning, and then I'll be reminded very often. Remember when you said, and I'm holding judgment till we play, because you never know. Rafa might have a 3 back 4, a system that works. Looking at it again now, though, it is a 3-4-3. Yerry Mina, Keane, Godfrey, Coleman, Allen, Decore, Digne, and then Townsend on the right, Gray on the left, Richarlison up front on his own. Interested to see how he does. He's got to have some battle on his hands. Tarkowski's a very good player, but I really like Ben Mee as well. I have this very, very staunch theory that we should have got Ben Mee instead of Michael Keane. I think he was the better centre-back partner, and I think he makes their any centre-back alongside him look good. I really like Ben Mee, but that's something we'll never know now. The bench, we've got Alex Iwobi, who will probably appear at some point. Anthony Gordon, who I don't think we'll see unless we need an attacking option. Rondon, who we might see. It depends on how well Richarlison gets on. Obviously, if he's getting bullied or he's struggling against the physicality, I imagine that Benitez is going to look at Rondon and go out there and absolutely bully the 2 centre-backs. Andre Gomez, Jabamin and Davis. I don't think we might see Gomez. I can't see us seeing Jabamin or Davis unless we're winning maybe and he wants to hold it out. John Joe Kenny and Holgate, again, that completely comes down to how well Coleman can stay fit. And Asmir Begovic, who I don't think we're going to see. For Burnley, the squad is exactly the same as the predicted. They've got no changes there. The bench has Aaron Lennon returning to Goodison Park. Rodriguez, Vidra, Cork, Bobby Thomas, Eric Peters, Maxwell Cornett, Phil Bardsley, and Wayne Hennessy. Be interested to see what they do with Maxwell Cornett. I'm surprised they got him. He seems like a good player. I've heard they're going to stick him as a right back, as a wing back. So, well, it'd be a full back in Dyche's system, but I don't know if that's true or not. We'll have to wait and see what they do over the season with him. Semi's tells you that we're going to be going after them as they play the low block game. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully we don't fall into the trap of that, though, because they're very happy, although I don't think they've got a lot of pace. They will be very happy with a draw here, and I think that's what they'll aim for, is a point at Goodison Park. Anything more than a point to them will be amazing. I think they're very well set up, Burnley. I think they're going to be very hard to break down, and I think Dyche will tell his men, listen, lads, a draw here is perfect. Get a draw, go back to Turf Moor, job done. And Moz has put, Mina is like Nacho Libre. He wants to win. he's fantastic, mate. I love him. Semi's going to be hard to run in behind them. Yeah, they are going to have a really low defensive line and a line of engagement. They're going to go for a low block. Eugene's put, there's no DCL tonight because of injury. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no DCL. Massive miss there. But hopefully Richarlison can, fill the gap. And we have got Solomon Rondon, the Salamander, who I think we will see. I'm going to say that Sib745 spot had DCL captain in my fantasy. I had him in my fantasy. I didn't have him captained. I think I had Romelu Lukaku captained. But yeah, I also had him. Don King's put Big Dunk on the bench. That might be what we need. Semi Antonio in your fantasy. That is a tough week. Don King's put Gray and Heath up runs. I mean, Snods is doing some touchline stuff right now. I saw on the Everton Twitter as well. So there's another legend there. But yeah, I mean, looking at the game now, I looked at the head-to-head last week when we did a video with Turfcast, which if you haven't checked out, you're probably not going to now because the game kicks off in, 50 minutes. But it was very good with Joe. And Joe, I ran through it with him. And I did one the other night. But we've got 6 wins. They've got 5 and 1 draw. So quite even. Last year, obviously, they beat us at Goodison Park 2-1, which was really, really tough. And we drew at Turf Moor. And then after that, the years before that, we've been sharing the spoils, really. 2018 was quite a good year. They beat us at Turf Moor, but we beat them the 2018-19 season, we beat them twice. We beat them 5-1 at Turf Moor, which was fantastic. Hopefully a bit of that today. But it to be fair, looking at it, Burnley seems to be one of those teams that we sort of share the spoils each time we play them. So I'm very interested to see it. And also, it's just the styles of play clashing. Smart Kets, if you're interested in this, are saying that Everton are 55% to secure all 3 points at Goodison. 55 is probably fair. Like I've just said, I've read out the head-to-heads and they're quite even. And Burnley are just a hard-working team. They're really hard to break down. They will be happy with the point. Don't forget, if they get a draw, they're going to go home very happy. They've had a bit of a tough start to the season as well, Burnley. They lost to Brighton, lost to Liverpool. They did beat Newcastle in the Cup, but then they drew to Leeds. The Leeds game, actually, Joe said they were unlucky to lose. I have a friend who's a Burnley fan. He said they were unlucky to lose that. Same with the Brighton game. He thought they should have beat Brighton. Obviously, we are one of the select few that are undefeated still in the Premier League. I think we join Liverpool, Chelsea, United, those lot. And hopefully we can make that continue. We can hopefully, get that on a little bit more. Sammy, thank you. A big thanks for that, mate. Yeah, guys, if you could smash the like button, that'd be really appreciated. Not just from me, but from the channel. So that'd be brilliant. Thank you very much. That would be unreal. Let us know down below as well who you think is the danger man for them. Obviously, Chris Wood is the obvious one. And let us know if you're interested in seeing Dwight McNeil play. I think normally going into this, I'd say McNeil's good anyway. But after the links we've had with him all summer, the fact that Benitez has been quite nice about him, and the fact that the rumours are Everton aren't done with this pursuit of McNeil, it looks like he could be one on a couple of Evertonians' watch today. A little bit of a scouting session for a couple of us. I'm interested to see how he plays. I'm interested to see his pace, his delivery. Because if Benitez is our manager next year, then or certainly by January, then I think he will look at wingers who are good at crossing the ball. We already see this in Townsend, who's a good crosser of the ball. And I think he will be looking to get players that are good at crossing the ball. So Dwight McNeil's crossing is something I'm really interested in seeing tonight. Hopefully not too much. Obviously, I hope he has somewhat of a good game so we can look at him, but obviously not too good of a game. We don't want a recap of last year where they beat us at Goodison Park. And that was quite a tough one last year. Turf Moor, tough place to go. The 1-1 last year I'll take, but 2-1 at Goodison Park. Dwight McNeil did score an absolute worldie in that one. But some of the stats for last year, 66% possession to their 34. Better expected goals. We had 1.5 to their 0.8. Same amount of shots. We had 3 more chances created. But all the stats in the world, there's only one that matters, and that's the final score. And it was 2-1 to them. It was tough. But I feel like that is a sort of common theme last season for us. A lot of possession. Go to Goodison Park, don't get results, but have a lot of possession. Sort of Sheffield United-esque sort of thing for me. And it was a current theme, but under Rafa, we seem to have really have this mentality block. Fingers crossed, obviously, we seem to have this mentality block that we had sort of subdued a little bit. The win against Southampton was a real test. In many ways, that was probably the best test for him and his team, going a goal down and having to come back, because that was the major criticism of Everton last year, was the mentality. Players, not having the right mentality after going a goal down. And straight away, Rafa's Blues came in and did it. So that was the main one for me, is how they'd react. And it looks so far, fingers crossed, like that's not an issue anymore. But yeah, just for any of you who care as well or want to know, Martin Atkinson is the official for tonight's game, which I'm sure many of you are absolutely delighted about, as am I, because Martin Atkinson and reffing our games has such a brilliant reputation. That'll be an interesting one. Hopefully he does his job, he does it properly, does it well. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we don't really need the ref that much, but I think Burnley are going to be quite physical. I don't know if any of you saw clips of them against Liverpool. I saw one of Ashley Barnes lobbing Harvey Elliott, I think it was, to the floor. I think they were the 2 players involved. Burnley, as expected, will play quite a physical game, and I'm just hoping that we can sort of give as good as we get. We can give as good as we get, take them physically, which I think we will. Alan is no slouch. He is he's very physical. Decore is a big lad, and then obviously Yerry Mina is just going to knock chunks out of people if he needs to. Looking at some of the semi-Charles put sound player, I'd have him. I'm assuming that's about McNeil. I'd like Dwight McNeil as well. Mitchell Bolton, has put Dwight McNeil is ready salted Walkers, just meh. I see a couple like this, but Burnley fans absolutely love him. I think he's one of those, if he suits your system, he's a really good player. And I think under Rafa Benitez, he would suit the system. So I can see why the club want him. I think he's got. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say he's going to be the next world beater, but I think he has got a lot of potential. And like I said, he's a system player. If he suits your system, he's only 21 as well, so there's a lot of potential to grow. But if he suits your system, he suits it well. Interestingly, though, he's not a player that gets many goals or assists. Looking at this last season, that's all throughout. So throughout his whole Burnley career, according to this, he's scored 7 goals. One of them is against us, obviously. Last season in the 2021, he got 5 goals. 2 goals, 5 assists. I think he's more of an assister, and I do think he suits the Everton system. So I can completely understand why the club are pursuing him and why Rafa Benitez is pursuing him. But I can see why some fans aren't absolutely thrilled. He's no, I can't think of a winger realistically that would have got Leon Bailey, but it's still yet to be seen if he'll adjust to the Premier League and Aston Villa. So I think it's a bit tough to say, disappointed because he's not Bailey. Semi-Charters, but if he scores a worldie or a brace or such, it's your fault. I don't want to hype the lad up too much because I'm really worried about that. I just think it's a really good opportunity to get a closer look at him and see how he plays. Because obviously, if it was last season under Ancelotti, I would say he's not an Ancelotti type of player. He didn't suit the way Ancelotti would play. For one, Ancelotti would play a 5 and have the fullbacks going out wide. But I do believe he's a Benitez player, especially in a 4-4-2 formation, which is what he plays at Burnley. He's been told cross it into the box, aim for 2 of the big men. Under Benitez, he'll be told similar. There's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, there's Richarlison, just aim for one of them, if not both of them. So you can sort of see it. Mitchell Bowson's put, wonder if Burnley fans are expecting anything out of this game or they think it's a free hit. No, I think they'll be happy with a draw, mate. Semi said he agrees with me. I think they'll be happy with a draw. Joe from Turfcast said he'd be happy with a point. My friend who's gone the game, I messaged him before. I said, how do you think it's going to go? He said he'd be very happy with a point. I think that's all they're coming to Goodison for. I think they're going to set up in a low block, try and frustrate us. If they can grab anything else from it, fantastic. But that's all they're aiming for. We have got to be a little bit careful that we don't leave too much space in behind. I know Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes aren't exactly, the fastest players in the world. But Dwight McNeil is fast if you give him. I think if you gave him a little bit of a yard, he could get in and cause some trouble. Cornet's the one I'm a bit worried about. He is quite fast, and if they brought him on, if Deitch realises that we're leaving them with too much space in behind, that could really upset our centre-backs. But you'd hope with a 5-back, you'd hope we don't need to worry because we've got that much defensive cover. But yeah, let us know down below. Like I've already said, let us know down below who you're most worried about. I've obviously mentioned McNeil quite a bit, but Chris Wood's another one that's a little bit of a worry for me. And let us know who you think will score for us today. Now that Calvert-Lewin's not in the squad, do you think it'll be Richarlison? Hi, Wormy. Nice to see you, mate. Semi's put, they'll look to hit us on the counter if they can. I completely agree, mate. I think that's what it's going to come down to, counter-attacking football, which is why I'm interested to see how we do, because up until now, I think it's fair to say we've played some quite I think it's fair. We've been playing some quite counter-attacking football. So it'll be interesting to see, how we react against a team that are going to play similar. I hope we don't spend too much time on the ball, and I just hope we play, in the same style, the directness, and we just create loads of chances. We absolutely pepper the chances, and hope we can have a bit of a goal, a goal glut, I think that's the right word, or bonanza, against them, because I think that's what really get people up, especially as it's Goodison Park under the lights at night. Just in case you were wondering, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has missed out with a quadricep injury. That's come from Phil Kirkbride on Twitter, who obviously is involved with the Echo. He said that that's the reason for Dominic Calvert-Lewin's miss. So not the toe injury that he's been carrying for the last couple of games, which I thought that when I saw that he wasn't playing, I thought it'd be his toe injury. But no, it looks like it's his quadricep, which is a bit of a shame. It's, James Rodriguez, I could not tell you why he's not there. Apparently, Benitez said midweek his fitness isn't very good. That surely doesn't shock many of us, but yeah, that surely doesn't shock many of us just because of the fact he's not played this season so far. I don't know what he's done in his summer holidays, but that could be another reason, if he's enjoyed his summer holidays a little bit too much. That could be another one. It just, or it could come down to, he just doesn't, all the politics. I don't think it is the politics. I think he is just below fitness. I don't think he's going anywhere anymore. So I sort of feel like Benitez and co are sort of going to be like, well, he's not going anywhere. We might as well try and make the most, play him while we've got him. And see, just see what happens. I think he will. I think I'm 80% certain he will play again in an Everton shirt this season. Just because he's not going anywhere, and like the only other window at this current stage, because apparently he doesn't want to go to Turkey. The only other chance we'll get to sort of see him out will be January. I don't believe we have a player of that quality from here to January who just doesn't play. He just sits there and does not play. I just don't, I don't believe that's the situation that we're in. I think he will. 80%. Looking at some of your comments again, Sky banging on about Ronaldo. Yeah, I not watching it obviously because I'm doing this, and I would recommend, guys, that this is the best place to get your Everton Burnley coverage because Monday Night Football, Neville and Carragher have been teasing each other all day about Avanti West Coast trains and who's the bigger Tory because Carragher got metal knives and forks. It's a bit weird, but at the end, Carragher goes, should we just get ready to talk on Monday Night Football about Ronaldo? And as soon as I saw him put that, I thought, fantastic. Everton, Burnley, doesn't matter. Be Monday Night Ronaldo, it does not matter who the teams are playing. And from then on, I was thinking, do you know what? I don't think I'll be watching Monday Night Football. I was meant to be going to the game today, but due to personal issues, I'm not. So I wouldn't have been watching it anyway, but I would very much recommend swerving Monday Night Football, lads, because it's going to be Ronaldo. I would just go watch it at 8 o'clock when it kicks off. Semi-Charles put DCL get better soon. Yeah, hopefully, mate, it's not a long one. Hopefully he's back relatively soon. It's just, a rest for him. Richarlison, by the way, still playing football, not having a rest. Amazing. Fair play to him. His fitness levels are through the roof. Inky, nice to see you, mate. You've put watch McNeil have a masterclass tonight. I really hope not. We've just been on about McNeil. Inky's put the lads better do well tonight. I've lost 5 points from red cards this week. Oh, that'll be fancy football. I can't believe you must have had Strike and Antonio in your team, which is a bit tough. Semi's put, if Hammers is fit and puts in the work, he should be played. Yeah, I agree, mate. If he's putting in, obviously it's not completely down to one side, aka the management and the side and the coaches. It's down to him as well. He's got to want to play. He's got to show that he wants to play. He's got to put in the effort, which is why I said I'm 80% certain. I think he will put in the effort if he's not going anywhere. And if he's putting in the effort in training, he's too good of a player for us to not play. Inky's put Godfrey's back, Poggers. Yeah, it's nice to see Godfrey back. I'm fingers crossed he has a really good game. Big Guy Durs put DCL injured again. Yeah, it's a quadricep injury, mate. So hopefully, he gets back from that pretty quick. No one cares about Ronaldo. Imagine being that bad yet to get him in the first place. Mate, you knew this was going to happen. I sort of Gary Neville being on Monday Night Football was always going to, want to talk about it. It's a bit annoying because Burnley fans and Everton fans will be watching it going, we're not bothered. We just want to see coverage of our... And you'd think with this being, I think this is the first time Neville and Carragher are on together discussing Rafa Benitez's Everton. Which Neville at the start was like, why have they hired Benitez? You'd have thought that would have been enough. And then maybe Burnley's start to the season would have been another talking point. I think the Benitez Everton would have been a good enough talking point. I don't think you need Ronaldo on to talk about it. I think the Benitez Everton sort of mystique behind that. And then obviously Burnley, you could easily talk about their, start to the season if you wanted to. I think they'll be safe this season, but you could argue their safety. I think they will be safe. I think Burnley are sort of becoming the regulars that will just not just survive but be comfortable, but low table comfortable. I really do like Burnley. I like that they're a hard working team. Dyche has them playing well. I'm not going to say entertaining because it's you could argue it's not entertaining, but it's effective. And he keeps them where they want to be, and he got them into Europe, which is, incredible. It's incredible he got Burnley into Europe. Inky's put he captained Antonio. That's a tough one. A lot of you are excited to see Ben Godfrey on the side. I'm very excited to see that as well. I don't know if he'll score, Inky, but I'm hoping he has a really good game. And we'll be welcome to Ben Godfrey sliding tackle takeout that we were accustomed to last season. Nearly every game, it was an absolute, fair slide tackle and clean. He won the ball, but he'd absolutely clear them out as well. So, we might even see that today, which will get Goodison Park absolutely pumping up. That's one way to get the crowd fired up, is a good slide tackle like that. Inky's put, can we just make fun of the Soccer Aid? They look like pair of plums with shirts on. I didn't watch Soccer Aid, mate, so I couldn't tell you. I saw Carragher had kicked, is it a YouTuber or so? He kicked someone, but Inky's put, I like Burnley because of Dyche. Is local to where I come from. Oh, where's Dyche from? Is he not from Burnley? I thought he was from Burnley, but I don't know now. Wormy's put, what's happened to Rondon Wingy? I'm going to assume that's Solomon Rondon. He's on the bench, mate. I think he will appear tonight. I think what Rafa's going to do is see how Richarlison gets on. A, fitness-wise. B, Ben-Mee and Tarkowski are quite hard to come up against. If he feels Richarlison's getting bullied or something like that, then I think he will bring on Solomon Rondon, who will just absolutely be a brute force. I'm quite excited to see how Solomon Rondon does. I think we know what we're getting with him. He's not going to be a fast player over their heads. He'll run onto it, but he is going to be a cross the ball in the box, and he will, if not win it, will cause trouble. Gamba's put 3-4-3 with Godfrey and Mina as the centre backs. Yeah, along with Michael Keane, mate. I'm a little bit dubious. I know you say 3-4-3, but it's a 5-back when you're defending, and a 5-back against Burnley is at home. Doesn't thrill me with excitement, but I am holding judgment. I'd have loved to see us go to the 4-4-2 again, but obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injury sort of puts that in a hard spot, and I don't think he wanted to throw Rondon in straight away for a full 90. So you can sort of understand it, but I don't like the 5-back with Everton. Other teams do it, and it does really well. We don't do it very well. So I sort of wish we weren't doing it at all. As you can see there, guys, we just put in from the Toffee Blues. This is Rafa Benitez on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He has a broken toe. He was training with problems and playing with pain. He had an injury the other day in his quadricep, and we'll have to wait 2 to 3 weeks, maybe more. That's a bit of a tough one. That's a massive blow. Obviously, we have got Solomon Rondon now. Thank gosh for that, because if we didn't have Solomon Rondon, then we're in trouble. But I mean, that means Richarlison is going to have to play through his games, and he's not going to get the rest that he probably would have hoped for. Rondon will appear a little bit more, but that's tough because Dominic Calvert-Lewin's our main goal scorer, and I think we will miss him. Deitch is from Kettering. Oh, I did not know that. You learn something new every day. Semi-Child's put Richie's up top as he's a bit quick to feature Rondon there. Yeah, exactly, mate. I think he's just, doesn't want to chuck Rondon in straight away. I do think in the future, when he's a little bit more match fit, that those two will do well together. Rondon will act as a classic target man, hold the ball up, look to bring Richarlison into play, who will be doing those run-ins behind the back line. I mean, that will work. That will work. To a certain extent, him and Dominic Calvert-Lewin sort of do that now. Only Dominic Calvert-Lewin's a lot more mobile and will run more than Rondon. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm really holding judgment. I think how we play tonight will be how we set up quite a lot without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm hoping the five back is just because Rondon's not match fit, and when he is, we'll go back to the 4-4-2. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Inky's Pump surprised he isn't playing Iwobinho. I'm surprised Alex Iwobi's not getting a game as well. I'm surprised Townsend is playing. I don't know why Iwobi's not playing. Maybe he just thinks Iwobi might be better as an impact sub. I tell you what, though, if you told me 2 years ago that Rafa Benitez will have been managing an Everton side at Goodison Park with Solomon Rondon as one of our strikers, Andros Townsend as one of our wingers, and Damari Gray as one of our wingers, I'd have thought you were taking the mick. That's a Keith Azul sort of mental sort of world. It's certainly, a simulation sort of idea, isn't it? But I mean, that's probably maybe the reason he's playing Townsend is his crossing ability. I think Townsend's ability to cross is better than Iwobi's. And maybe he just thinks Iwobi might be better as a tactical, or Iwobi could play later on as a change of shape if we need to. We can obviously play that number 10 role, or he could play either side of the wings if he was going to stick Damari Gray in that cam role instead, which he has done before, so don't be massively surprised if that happens. Gigamba's put that as a strong back defence, plus we have Davis and Rondon as subs. Yeah, it's a strong defence, mate. My only issue with it is that it can look a little bit negative at home against Burnley, but I think it's injuries, mate. I don't think if we had Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he'd have set up that way. I think he'd have set up in the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-4-2. Wormy's put 4-2-3-1 for me, but saying don't like five back. Digne and Coleman are not wing backs. Yeah, that's my other issue. We're going to have to expect Seamus Coleman, who had a knock and could still be carrying a slight knock. He's going to have to be asked to do a lot of work if he's to play as a wing back. And Digne, I think he's good, but I don't think he has the full pace to cover himself if he's caught high up the field. Andres Alfonso's put what's the official lineup and subs. I can read it out for you, mate, if you want. It is Jordan Pickford in goal. It is Seamus Coleman on the right. It is then Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, Ben Godfrey, and then Digne on the left. Allen and Decore in the middle. Townsend, Richarlison, and Damari Gray. And then on our bench, we have Alex Iwobi, Anthony Gordon, Solomon Rondon, Andre Gomez, Jean-Philippe Jabamin, Tom Davis, John Joe Kenny, Mason Holgate, and Asmir Begovic. So the bench, again, that's going to probably be our bench. Obviously, when Rodriguez comes back, he might be on there or something else. Fabian Delph has got an injury. Maybe he comes on the bench at some point, you'd assume, just because I think Benitez quite likes him. Otherwise, we'd have really pushed to get him out. And he played in the other, I think it was the Huddersfield game. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I assume James Rodriguez will be back at some point. And like I said, I'm 80% certain we'll see him play again. Just because, I think if he wants to play and he trains hard enough and he puts in the graft, there's no way we look at him and go, nah. So we'll have to wait and see on what happens to Rodriguez. But I mean, our bench doesn't look as bad anymore. There's, no double keepers. We've got a lot of midfielders on there now. we've got 1, 2, 3 lads who can play centre mid. And we've now got 3 more attackers in Rondon, Gordon, and Iwobi. I'd like to see Anthony Gordon get some game time. That'd make me quite happy. That'd make me really happy actually, just because he seems to be a lad that I really, really do want to break into the first team, and he shows promise. He shows a lot of promise. But for whatever reason, he did this when he went to Preston. I had a friend at university who's a Preston fan who now works for the club, and I said, what do you think of Gordon? And he was like, it's mad. He has a really good game or a good spell from the bench, but then won't be picked again. And that was his case at Everton. He'll have a really good game. You go, he's got to start the next game, surely. And you just don't see him again. And it's like, does the lad, I don't know, does he just not bother in training? Or why wouldn't you pick him? But I'd like to see him come on from the bench. And I think we will do. I think we'll see him. When he's put, do we need that against Burnley? All that defence? Don't think so. Yeah, I think a 5 against Burnley at home's a bit. But I'm holding judgment, man. I'm trying to hold judgment and be a bit more positive in my outlook of this season. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll hold my judgment till after the game. I think he's put Delph played well when he came on versus Leeds, and that's coming from me. Yeah, he did. I just it's Fabian Delph. Nora's put, your map's not straight. I don't know if it's my map or my camera. To be fair, it's not my map either. It's one of those scratchy ones, but it's not mine, so I never scratch it. I think it might be my camera, mate, because it's on my knees. If not, I will fix that later. But I can see why it does look very crooked on there. Inky's put, have you seen the poll that Everton have put in their match day blog? No, I haven't. Is that the official Everton or is that the Echo? By any chance? I'm gonna have a look now. I'll go on to Everton's Twitter. I literally just went off it. I went off it once someone else managed to get the matchday squad up. And watch it. I can't see a poll. I can see Benitez doing an interview. And I can see that quote from Rafa Benitez about Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injury. Is it on their Twitter, Inky, or is it on the Everton blog site? You're probably going to have to tell us the poll, mate, at this rate. James Brinkley's put, think today will be a tough game for us. I reckon they'll be wanting some points, but I'm expecting them to be well-drilled performance for the W. Us putting, yeah, I think it will be a tough game, mate. I've said this a couple of times. I think it's going to be a clash of styles, of similar styles. I'm hoping we get the win. I'm hoping we still play direct. The main issue I have with the 5 at the back is that I worry we're going to spend too much time on the ball and not do anything with it. I want us to move the ball forward quickly like we have been doing and create a lot of chances. So I'm holding judgment, but the 5, I would have much preferred a change of not that formation, but I think it'll be tough though because Burnley are going to be very well worked. Looking at it now, Inky, I can see the who to score first. A lot of fans have said Damari Gray and Richarlison, which is. I'd say that's fair. I'd say there are 2 main threats in the team. I can't see the goals coming from anywhere else really. Townsend's on there. I mean, Townsend, there could be a screamer, and Digne got 10%. I think that'd be a free kick if anything. James Brinkley's put Richie and Gray on the goals today. I hope so, mate. Irwin's put, I reckon, Rondon on the bench for the final 15. I'd like to see Rondon get some game time. I'd like to see Anthony Gordon get more, though. Gamma's put, let's see how the game starts, then we can decide if defence was the right one. Exactly, mate. That's why I'm really holding back my judgment on it, because I've said this. I could say it's rubbish and we could go out and absolutely thump them, and then I look silly, and you just reserve judgment anyway. The one thing I will say about Benitez is if this doesn't go well from the off, he's not afraid to change shape. He'll just change the shape in what he thinks will get us a better result. And that's what you want from a manager, isn't it? I'd be more annoyed if he sat there, went, "Oh, this isn't working, but we'll see it out." So fair play, props where it's due. He's not afraid to change shape if he has to, and I think he will change shape if he needs to. So, I'm only saying the 5 back /3 back because it's not worked well in the past for us. And I think certain players, I think, get too much time on the ball. Michael Keane being one of them, and it doesn't go well for him. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm holding judgment. I'm keeping an open mind, and I think we could end up upsetting Burnley. But that's the toughest one out for me. Is I don't want us to spend. The reason I say I want us to be direct is I don't want us to spend too much time on the ball, not doing anything with it, because that will play into what Burnley wants. I think they will come for a point. If they can snatch a win, fantastic, but they will look for a point. And if it comes down to us just playing the ball across the park nicely, not doing anything with it, Sean Dyche will tell his lads, just let them do it. A point's a point, let them do it. So we've got to be direct in our play and sort of hope to catch them and just pepper them when we can, just absolutely pepper their goal. But they are a tough team to break down. So, we'll have to wait and see. But the 5 back against Huddersfield is the only thing that's really scared me. And also last season, a couple of times, I didn't think the 5 back would work. But I'm holding judgment, trying to think of a positive attitude. We'll go out, we'll smash their goal, we'll get. I said a 1-0 win. Now there's a couple more of you in the chat. This can be a little bit more interesting. Let us know your score predictions. I think it'll be 1-0 to us. But you let us know down below what your score predictions are. Semi-Chard put his in before, and Mossa put his in. But a couple of you, Erwin and Inky, have joined since then, and Gamba. So let us know, and a couple more of you. Let us know, James as well. Let us know your score predictions on it. Inky's put 2-0. Graham Rondon off the bench. That'd be fantastic for his debut. Rondon would really, that'd be really good. That would be almost a dream, mate. I hope he scores on his debut. That's, that's a really good, solid debut for him. It'd be interesting to see. I've not seen him play. I can't lie. I've not seen Rondon play since he was last in the Premier League. So I'm interested to see how he does. I think he will. I think he will appear just because of his ability to bully centre backs. So I'm hopeful. Looking at it now, though, a couple more of you have put in yours. Semi's put 2-1. Phil Townsend is due a goal coming on his left foot. His left foot's a bit of a thunder in it from outside the area. He's got a bit of a thunder rocket on him. I think we could end up seeing that. Inky's put Rondo. It was only sharp in the CSL alongside Arnautovic. So yeah, they're a couple that I wouldn't put together just because they're both quite big lads. I would call me old fashioned, but I would go little and large. Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe as your 2 strikers. I always prefer you to have a target man or a sort of someone who's going to hold the ball or a deep line forward, and then like a poacher who's going to run in behind, or an advanced forward who's going to run in behind. I like the little and large combination. Jermaine Defoe. Sorry about that. I think I'm having technical difficulties there. Gigamba's put 2-1 Everton, but Burnley have good forwards and is unpredictable. Yeah, Chris Wood, Joe mentioned it when we did it with Turfcast, said that he can be quiet all game and then spark into life. Yeah, I should be back now, hopefully, guys. Sorry about that. My Wi-Fi dipped in my house. Yeah, apparently Chris Wood can, be quiet all game and then turn it on like that and really be impressive. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. I think he's put Townsend's screamer off the crossbar. I hope so. Obviously, we saw it once in pre-season, and I think since then, every fan has been looking to see that again. See you soon, Inky lad. Hopefully we're celebrating a win, mate. But take care. But yeah, I think Townsend had that one shot, didn't he, at pre-season, which was fantastic. And since then, myself and a couple of others have just been dying to see it again, see a goal like that. But let us know as well, because there seems to be a bit of a debate on who will replace Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Obviously, the obvious one is Rondon, but if he's not completely fit, who would you play instead? Would you stick with Richarlison? Let us know down below. It's absolutely devastating to hear he's going to be out for several weeks. It's really, really tough. It is interesting to say as well, I've seen Jamie Carragher, for all his worth as well, sometimes he's a divvy, but sometimes he says stuff that I can't help but agree with. But apparently he's been comparing Ancelotti and Benitez, and he said Everton should be trying to do sort of a Atletico Madrid system, and that would suit Everton. And I have to agree with him. I have to agree with Carragher. Sometimes he can be a bit of an idiot, but and I know obviously he switch teams, which is a very odd thing to do. But sometimes he gets it spot on with us, which is what happens, I guess, if you're an Everton fan as such a young child and enjoyed the late 80s, the 80s success that he did. But I have to agree with him. I think if we could turn into sort of like an Atletico Madrid, that would be something that I think fans would be happy about, because it's aggressive as well. It's it's not passive. It's up in your face. I know Owen, who sometimes appears on the Toffee Blues. I know Owen would absolutely love it if we got Diego Simeone, or if we could replicate Atletico Madrid. I know he's a massive fan of that, so I know he'd be a happy boy. But I wouldn't mind it, sort of that sort of the way they play is very good, and they wind people up. Looking down now, Eddie Milkovic has said hi from Croatia. Come on, you Blues. Very, very welcome, mate. Come on, you Blues as well. I didn't think we had a massive fan base in Croatia, but it's lovely to see how widespread we are. Obviously, I can't think. I think the last Croatian player I can remember is obviously Vlasic, but before then it was Nikita Jelavic, who when he used to play for us, I really liked Jelavic. I thought he was a really clever buy for us. Really good striker. Really enjoyed him. But yeah, let us know who you think who you ideally. Do you think we stick with Richarlison up front, or do you think we sort of? I don't know. To be fair, I don't know who else we'd try. I don't know who else we would try there, other than Rondon, obviously, because we've got no other striker at all, which is sort of an issue that we had in the window when we saw Moise Kean go. Obviously, we got Rondon. I think we're going to really miss Calvert-Lewin, and I've said this a couple of times. I think our biggest downfall this season will be injuries to key positions. So fullbacks I've mentioned, but strikers another one. Obviously, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin gets injured, I don't think Rondon's got the goals that he has. I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't stand there and tell me that Rondon will produce the same amount of goals as Calvert-Lewin will. I think injuries will be our downfall this season. But yeah, let us know if you can think Anthony Gordon. I've seen a couple of people say, stick Anthony Gordon in the middle. I personally don't think that's the way forward. I think leave him on the wings. I think that's the best thing for Anthony Gordon. But I've seen a couple chant for him. I've seen a couple say Lewis Dobbin as well if we needed him. Lewis Dobbin's an interesting one. He's had a really good pre-season, but I'd say he's a bit. He would not come in with the same goals as Calvert-Lewin, and it'd be very unfair to sort of put that expectation on a young lad as well. That's not a fair thing to do. It's such a young player, so we'll have to wait and see on that one as well. But I'm quite worried about the Dominic Calvert-Lewin thing. I'm actually a bit a bit gutted about that, just because he's so important to us and our style as well. We saw last season, we saw last season with Arden, we sort of play the same type of way. That's where Rondon probably comes in a little bit better. But obviously we've got Richarlison. But my main worry with Richarlison is he's going to need his rest at some point, surely. And it is amazing, what he's doing. I'm seeing now that Sky Monday Night Football are doing a Messi versus Ronaldo comparison. I don't know what on earth that's got to do with I don't know what that's got to do with Everton and Burnley. That's quite annoying and very typical of Monday Night Football. But that's a little bit annoying for both sets of fans. I don't think they come on to hear Ronaldo versus Messi debate. They came on to watch Everton Burnley. But luckily for you guys, you have the Toffee Blues and we have our stream, and this is all Everton. A little bit Burnley because obviously they're our opposition, but it's quite annoying. Kleber has put hi from Mexico, MX. Hello One's put Croatia. I think that's him saying he's watching from Croatia again. Again, didn't realise we had such massive support in Croatia. Big up, the Croatian Toffees and the Mexican ones as well. It's mad that we reach Mexico, although just because we don't have any Mexican players, but that's, it's brilliant to see. It's brilliant to see how far as a fan base we sort of stretch. So, welcome. Hopefully we can win, share some celebrations with our Mexican fans and our Croatian. And obviously we've got a lot in South America, in Colombia, because of Mina and more Rodriguez. And we got a couple in the US, and a couple of the US lads do the Toffee Blues as well. Which if you want to watch that, feel free to. They're very good. I think Jerry does it. He's very good. It's just amazing to see. So check that out as well. Looking down now, I think the only other striker that could potentially do that I've seen people mention is Damari Gray. He's got a lot of pace. I wouldn't be against that on a team that play a high line. If obviously Richarlison needed a rest, obviously Richarlison's our go-to if Calvert-Lewin is injured. But if Richarlison needed a rest, I wouldn't be against sort of against someone with that type of pace against a highline team. It is interesting. Adam Jones from the Echo has put that one of the differences he notices under Rafa Benitez is the emphasis on drills for substitutes as well as starting players. Obviously, last season they were left to their own devices, but Rafa's got them doing drills, which is good to see. And Richarlison is apparently supporting a bandage on his arm to watch out for. So Semi Charles put Ola, and they said that he was in Jerry's live stream last night. Oh, well, that's brilliant, mate. I didn't catch it last night because I what day is it today? Monday, so it was Sunday. I actually went to bed at about quite early, actually, just because I was tired from the day before, which is quite embarrassing for a 23-year-old to be saying that he went to bed at like 10. But I was absolutely knackered. Gigamba's put Randolph, New Jersey. Are you from New Jersey? Is that what you're saying? If so, that's crazy, mate. I know it's not quite the same, but when I was younger, I actually went to New York, which I know aren't the same place. But I think you share a border, if I'm not mistaken, because one of the stadiums is the New Jersey, New York. Is it the MetLife? I'm guessing here, but that could be completely wrong, because my American geography isn't very good. So apologies if I've got that wrong. But I think you share it, and I only know that because I used to watch the rest of them when I was younger, and still do, to be fair. And I think WrestleMania was hosted in that stadium, so you know. But yeah, I'm going to leave you guys now because we are MetLife. Get in. Great knowledge of stadiums in the US, that is. I am going to leave you guys now, though, because we're 3 minutes away from kickoff and I want to get downstairs, make a brew or something, and, sort of get ready for the game. You're 30 minutes away from there. That's sick. But yeah, guys, thanks very much for joining me and chatting. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you all. Don't forget to like the stream. I massively appreciate that. And hopefully we can get a win tonight. So come on, you Blues. Semi-Chard, come on, you Blues, mate, up the Toffees. Take care, guys. Don't forget, if you do want any of your Everton tops, you can get them through the Everton direct link. And to subscribe to the channel if you're not, because we've got plenty of great content coming out in the next couple of days, weeks, everywhere. See you later, boys. All the best. Good luck to the Blues.